Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment.
Alright, this was the MGB review of New South Pro Wrestling's Action Clash number 4 from September 20th, 2020. This was from Huntsville, Alabama, and it says the arena on a cage match was the Furniture Factory. Because you kind of commented it looked like a bar.
It did.
And I can kind of tell, because it was kind of spread out a little bit. Like it looked like there was like a stage area, though, which was kind of unusual for a bar.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell exactly what it is. So I'm not familiar with the Furniture Factory.
It might be one of those bars where there's like a lot of performances.
That would make sense. That would make perfect sense. Yeah, they have live music and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of the one failing into us, the Three Silos. We went there one time and it was packed. We couldn't even sit down. But they have like different stages, and then you can kind of... Yeah, that would actually make perfect sense. I don't know if you recognised Huntsville at all.
No.
You're probably way too young. This was before I knew Mommy, but your uncle actually lived in Huntsville for a while. Now, the reason we picked this one was, now we've been doing a format of 3 matches. And actually, Mason, this was only 3 matches anyway. And we knew straight away we were going to review this one when we saw what the main event was. So we'd already seen this several weeks ago, and we'd just been kind of waiting for it to appear on IWTV, and we had a few other things to review. It was Cabana Man Dan and Mance Warner. So that one, I didn't even care what the other matches were. I would have quite happily just watched it just for that one. And then from the other ones, we've been trying to pick one we'd want to see, and then one with somebody we didn't know. So as it was, it took care of itself. Donnie Janela, Kung Fu Janela, was in match 1, which was somebody who we always like to see anyway. And then in match 2, there were some tag team people, and I hadn't heard of any of them, so that was perfect. Actually, I'd heard of Hot Tamales, Daniel Perez, but the other people in that one I hadn't heard of at all. So that was.
He was in that match?
Yes, he was in that match.
Which tag team?
He was in the Ladykillerz.
Oh, I don't know what he looks like.
He has like hot flames coming out from his legs.
Oh, I didn't remember. He was not in that match.
He got the first pin.
Oh.
All right, we're doing this way out of sequence. Let's get to match 1.
You did not have
and
those
then you
pants.
Yes.
If you wore those, then I would have realized it.
Why do you think I was mentioning his name in that match? Just random talk.
Yes.
Even though it mentioned him? Oh my gosh. Alright, match 1 was Donnie Janela, Kung Fu Janela against Stephen Michaels. Now, actually, the things I noticed for this one, we've talked about Kung Fu Janela before, so I was going to focus on Stephen Michaels. I did hear, though, his music was Kiss from a Rose by Seal, which I actually have on my playlist from, I can't remember the wrestler, because we have that indie playlist. I heard it at EWA Maryland. And there was people next to me singing like every single lyric from the song, which was kind of funny. And because we keep asking, like, name the wrestler. And I couldn't remember who it was. And you guys weren't there because it was the one at Thanksgiving last year. So now we actually can legitimately keep it on our indie playlist. And we know that it's Kung Fu Janela. Stephen Michaels was 6'6", 374 pounds. Like, oh my gosh, that's a big guy.
Jeez.
Like, Kung Fu Janela is not anything close to that size.
Yeah.
So there was a big mismatch for this one straight away. Now, I kind of misheard this to begin with. When it came out with Stephen Michaels, I thought it was that guy Sean from Michaels. Now, I know you hadn't heard of him, and I had great difficulty trying to find him, because every time you type in Sean from Michaels and wrestler, HBK comes up. So I didn't get anything. So I asked Nish Guy, he hadn't heard of him, so I put out the message on Twitter, and I got a response pretty quickly, actually. Phil Stamper actually responded to me, gave me a couple of links. Now, the only thing I could find on Twitter, though, was a fan account, so that didn't help. And the other one I could find was a Facebook, and it just linked me to one link. So I couldn't find out much about Sean from Michaels, but basically, he works at the Michaels art store. And the one thing I can see, it looks like in his matches he does like artwork. Like I could see him with like a tube of paint or something. He had like a little picture frame, not picture frame, the canvas, and then he was like, and I saw somebody said this is like the messiest match ever, so I don't know if he squirts paint at people or something, but there's definitely some matches we can watch on YouTube later if you want to.
Yeah.
But that's not who we were talking about this one. This was Stephen Michaels. So he's the master of the Chicago Bear Hug, trained at Team 3D Academy. Ooh. And Pro Wrestling 2.0. Catch me weekly on OVW Wrestling. That's where Franco Varga wrestles.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, so when you look on Cage Match, I kind of looked down. I was like, I wonder if he's wrestled Franco. I wonder if he's has wrestled Franco. I couldn't find him, so I don't think they have. He did post, actually, the day we were watching this match. Today, I waited half an hour in 46-degree rain to vote. My wait was nothing compared to some of the more disenfranchised urban areas where the black and brown votes are trying to be suppressed. Today, I voted like my life depended on it because it did. Go out and vote. So he's sending a very clear message that people need to get out and vote. Yeah, at the time we're recording, the election day is only... let me count, do a quick bit of math. 10 days away, I think it is. By the time this episode comes out, it will be 1 day. So if you are in America, certainly go out and vote. That's
I think most of
important.
our listeners are from England, though.
That could be true. I don't know, actually. I don't know our demographic. Oh, no. I have no idea. I heard some figures recently about how many people actually listen on SoundCloud, and it was kind of a lot of people. So I don't know where people actually come from. We don't really normally get those figures. All right, Mason, go ahead.
So, Steven has on 2 shirts, and he takes one of them off, but he's really getting grilled by the commentators for wearing a shirt, because apparently wrestlers can't wear those. I totally disagree with that.
You can't wear a t-shirt?
No, I mean, he can, but the commentator said wrestlers shouldn't wear t-shirts. Wrestlers don't wear t-shirts.
I got you.
Which I think is totally not right, because wrestlers can wear t-shirts. Like... Roman Reigns wears a whole bulletproof vest.
That was what I was thinking of straight away. I was just about to say, I was going to wait to see what you said, and I was going to say the current Universal Champion doesn't have his, he's all covered up. When Becky Lynch used to wrestle, she was totally covered up as well. There's plenty of wrestlers that do that. So I was also thinking of Myron Reed as well, because he has that body protector on as well. So
D'Lo Brown.
The old school wrestlers used to have the singlets on or whatever and things like that. But yeah,
D'Lo Brown.
Actually, Dean Ambrose, he doesn't either, does he?
Doesn't, no.
When he gets mad, he'll take his shirt off. Yeah. Actually, in some ways, it's kind of cooler when they have a shirt on, because then when they get upset, they take it off their head and they scrunch it up and then throw it, and then you know that they're mad. Or Kurt Angle just used to was it Kurt Angle used to take his strap down?
Yes, he did.
So I don't think that makes any difference, but hey.
Yeah, D'Lo Brown, remember that with his vest?
Not very well. He's a Liverpool fan.
He is?
Yeah. I was looking for wrestling fans who are Liverpool fans for a list I have on Good Cop, Bad Cops Twitter feed. And the first name that came up was D'Lo Brown. I was like, I didn't know he was a Liverpool fan. Huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. If we ever see him at the Indies, that's the first thing I want to ask him. I want to ask him about how he became a Liverpool fan. I don't know that story at all.
So there was Steve does a lumbar check, but it was called a spine breaker or something like that. Which I don't like that. Just call it a lumbar check.
So is that specific then to Cedric?
It must be, yes. Because that was the first time I've seen anybody else do it, and it's called a spine breaker. Which you cannot. They have spine busters and spine breakers now. I think they should just call it lumbar check.
I would agree.
Donnie gets a turnbuckle to the doodle, then a superplex by Steve, and then Donnie wins with a roll-up.
He did, and he quickly got out of the ring as soon as he could as well, because when you got a 374-pound, 6'6" guy who's unhappy with you, then you want to get out as quick as you can. Now, we actually tweeted right at the start of this, we're watching at New South PW Action 4, and I was doing it from your account, so I put with me. Ready for the MGB review this Monday. Oh, actually, I forgot. No, it's this Monday. I forgot. We got 2 episodes to kind of record. So actually, no, it'll be 8 days before the election then. I got it a little bit wrong. Up first at Kung Fu Janela, and then in the main event at Cabana Man versus at Mance Warner. This show is going to be awesome. And then they actually responded to it. The Warbringer at Lupine Fiasco. That guy fighting at Kung Fu Janela sure is a killer though. And I kind of looked at it. I didn't recognize the account. That's also Stephen Michaels. So that one I read earlier, that Master of the Chicago Bear Hug, that's a different account. And then this is so I don't know if he has 2 different. I don't know if it's 2 different weird Twitter feeds as one the person and one the wrestler. So I might have just found
sense.
It could do. When I looked at it, the only reason I realized it was the same one is as he comes in, it shows you him with behind the board, and it says Stephen Michaels behind him.
Yeah.
But no, I responded to him and I said, yeah, we were very impressed.
I really think all wrestlers should do that. Have a wrestling Twitter account that they publicly and open are about that, and their private account with their shoot name and all that other stuff.
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. And if you remember when we interviewed Bo Crockett, and I didn't realize at the time, he said his, I think it's his Facebook account, says Bo Crockett PW, and it was professional wrestler or something like that to distinguish from the person himself. So a few people do that. And actually now I follow some of the some of the other pages as well. So sometimes I'll have 2 follows for a wrestler, like their real page, and then the other account.
Because you can post like family stuff, and if you're like a massive heel and you're shown with a baby, and that makes you look less of a heel.
It's easier on Facebook because you can limit what people see what. So I understand why you do that. On Twitter, anybody can see it unless you physically block them. So if you set up a page today, potentially 7 billion people could see that page, unless you blocked all 7 billion people. Now, you can protect your account, actually. You can lock it, and then if somebody asks to see it, you can say yes or no. But hardly anybody does that, to be honest.
That would be a pain.
Yeah, it would be. Well, Facebook's the same, though. If somebody wants to see you, you have to send a request, and then you have to accept it.
Having 1 million people asking you to see their posts...
Well, for that reason, most people don't, and that's why it stays open. So, yeah, I got a little bit confused there, but no, I was really impressed with him. Somebody that size, you don't normally see people that size and that big and strong. So that was something. I actually watched I think I told you, I watched episode 1 through 3, and I really enjoyed them, which is one of the other reasons. I originally thought episode 3 was this one with Cabana Man Dan, and I was like, oh, where is it then? And then finally I saw it was episode 4, because I heard it on another podcast. There was a few people who I've not heard of before, who I saw, and I'm like, they're really good. I want to see more of those people. I wish I could remember, there was a female wrestler in episode 3 who was really good. Apparently she appeared on AEW recently as well. I was like, I could see why. Her character was really
Otis. Good. He was my favorite person from here.
Otis?
Yeah, he looked exactly like Otis.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's coming up on the next match. One final thing for this one. Kung Fu Janela, this was actually yesterday as we're recording. He actually posted, as we're watching this match, it was on the day, COVID-free, Jesus, I can't wait for everything to return to normal. So I didn't realise that he actually had COVID. Now, we saw there was a few people, Cabana Man Dan, I certainly knew about because he posted when he came back from the collective, and we saw Jaden Newman as well, who also wrestles at New South as well. So, yeah, I'm glad that these guys are recovering. I haven't seen any updates from Cabana Man Dan, but he's certainly posting things, so I guess that means he's doing okay as far as I know he's just quarantining right now. All right, match 2 then was for the New South Tag Team title, an elimination 4-way match featuring Two Fly Ty and I was going to say Dylan, but you said it's Dylan?
Dylan. It's Ty and Die.
Oh, Ty and Die. That makes sense. Capital D, lowercase y, uppercase L, A-N. And they were the current champions. I couldn't find anything for Dylan, because you put Dylan at wrestle and you get like Hornswoggle, because that's his first name, or different people like that. Against the Talladega Knights, which is Hunter Drake and Tyler Franks, the New South Express, which is Brandon Williams and Dump Sanders, and the Ladykillers, which is Bailey Blake and Daniel Perez, which is Hot Tamales.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So first thing I looked up was, because I was a little confused, so I was looking up because I think you said you don't like hot tamales or something like that.
No, I don't like
So I typed it in, and I didn't put the word hot to begin with, because I was thinking that was like the seasoning, so I just typed in tamale. I guess I got it confused. A tamale is a traditional Mesoamerican dish made of masa or dough, which is steamed in a corn husk or a banana leaf. The wrapping can either be discarded prior to eating or used as a plate. And I was like, what? Like, I thought they were like candy or something.
They are.
So then I typed in hot tamales, and then that came up with it. Intense, chewy, cinnamon-flavored candies offering a flavor-charged, mouth-refreshing taste our variety of seasonal, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't like them either because it's cinnamon. I don't particularly like cinnamon.
I think it's like, I don't like spicy candy. Like, they're supposed to be sweet.
I'm trying to think what the other one is. There's some other ones that's not like nerds. There's, oh geez, I guess I'm not going to think what they are. There is some other ones, and I don't like those either. But yeah, no, if you're having candy, it's normally because it's sweet tasting.
Yeah, I like a lot of candy, but those...
Yeah, you don't say.
But I don't like hot tamales. I don't like Werther's Originals.
Oh, I like
those. I don't
those.
like caramel.
What about Peeps? I don't think they're candy though, really.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they are.
They're like marshmallow.
They're marshmallow with sugar coated all over it. Yes.
Okay.
What about? I don't like.
Well, as we're also at Halloween period, this will be the last episode before our Halloween.
Oh, I
Halloween
hate candy corn.
I was just about to ask about that. That one always comes up as well.
And I hate peanut butter ice cream.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
But everything else,
we keep getting that, and I'm like, oh, good gracious. I know Jay likes peanut butter, but I'm not a big fan anyway.
You just stick peanut butter with.
You can just add a scoop of peanut butter from that if you want that. Anyway, I would agree with that. All right, talk us through this one. This one actually took the long time because you said this is going to take forever to introduce all these people, and it did take quite a while actually. Go ahead.
So there's so Otis is part of the New South Express.
So that's either Brandon Williams or Dom Sanders, and there was a lot of
Yes.
people we didn't know, so I couldn't figure it
Yeah,
out.
there were so many cool moves by different people.
Yeah.
Like there was a double drop kick, then a triple suicide dive, then a jump off of the turnbuckle to the outside by the same person, and there was a bunch of other stuff. And in 30 seconds, the Talladega Knights were eliminated. Oh my gosh, I totally messed that up. This is why I need to do a computer. So he did all that in 30 seconds. And then the Talladega Knights were eliminated by and then the Ladykillerz were eliminated. And then right after, the New South Express got attacked and wins by DQ, but Ty and Dye still win and retain. Well, they don't win, they retain.
They retain. Yeah, it kind of ended a little quick. They had those first two eliminations, and they immediately got themselves disqualified so they could retain, which was like, it's a great heel move, but it was like, I was kind of looking for a little more. Yeah, it's a shame you didn't write down exactly what happened on that first one, because it would have been Hot Tamales who got the pin for the first elimination. That's when we were talking about it, but... Hey, never mind. Now, I was struggling on this one because some of them have very generic names, like Brandon Williams. There's so many Brandon Williams. And I was kind of struggling for a few of these people. And I started off with that two-fly tie because I knew he was the current champion. And I guess there's some rapper that has almost the same name. But I think it's one of them has a hyphen and one of them doesn't have a hyphen. So you could type like two-fly tie wrestler and eventually I managed to find something. So it says, on Twitter, it says, indie wrestler, the number one stunner, Stunnah, himself, two-fly tie. And then one of his tweets was, now that I'm on the back end of this COVID beep, I'm sorry in advance for the rage that's going to come out on this day. So he's another one so there's a lot of people who suddenly,
one from every match.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't know that at the start, and like I said, I only knew about Cabana Man Down at that point, and Jaden Newman, who wasn't actually on the card for this one, but yeah.
I have one big complaint about this match.
Go ahead.
It was absolutely horrible. The intros were so long. Ty and Dye, please come out at the same time.
Yeah, that I didn't understand.
Ty came out, he danced around the ring, he ran back to go get Dye. Just, oh my God.
I would agree with that. I didn't like that either, because when there's
7-minute intro and just put their names, like do a little editing to make all of our lives so much better.
Well, we knew the show was less than an hour anyway, and then I looked on Cage Match straight away to find who it is, and of course I get the spoiler straight away who wins, and it tells you the length of the matches. And when we added it up, I was like, that comes to like 35 minutes. So I was like, well, there's obviously going to be you enter the ring, you leave the ring, and there's going to be some little promos in between. But yeah, I didn't see if you got 4 tag teams,
I think it must have been like their time was like wrong because it only felt like 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, at the end when it stopped. Well, I thought it was longer than 20, but because you said I can't believe that was an hour, and I looked and I checked and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, 56 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was entertained certainly for the hour. Yeah, they could have come out together. One of the organizations, Riptide, which I've started watching a few of theirs, they cut straight to them in the ring. They put like a side-by-side picture of them, and then it says who the names are, and then it's straight into the ring. And their whole shows are like an hour 20, an hour 30, which is, for me, I love.
Yeah, you should do that. Have like split screen.
When I used to watch WWE, and when I used to record it on the DVR, and I used to fast forward through the entrances, because I don't mind a pay-per-view. I don't need to see it every week. Like, I get it. I know if I see Randy Orton come out, I know what his entrance is now. For the indies, I don't mind it quite as much because I don't know the people, so I kind of want to see what their character is, how they interact a little bit. But yeah, it felt a little bit too long for me as well. That was it. I did find Dylan then, or whatever his name is, because he was actually on Two Fly Tie's Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Good, but him being his tag team partner. So it says for him, pro wrestler, spine buster enthusiast, half of the New South Tag Team Champions, booking information, and then it gives his booking information.
Okay, so I did one thing that Randy Orton amazes me. So he goes around on all of the 4 sides of the ring, and he holds up his hands, right, for about 30 seconds. How does he stay so still? And when he holds the belt, that must be heavy.
He's a pro.
When he holds that up, that must be so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's just holding up with your arms like that for a whole 30 seconds, like that's gotta be tiring.
So I've just realised then, if we ever go, I better not. If the chance comes again, then I don't need to buy tickets for the Undertaker because his entrance has got to be like 5 minutes just for one person.
That's different. That's iconic. That's iconic and it's energetic.
Or Finn Balor.
Well, yeah, when you're sitting on the couch watching them run around the ring with high-fiving fans, it's not as fun as The Undertaker walking out with all those lights, with all the people screaming in excitement, and Finn Balor, you get to raise your arms.
You could have raised your arms to these guys.
You get an interaction.
Look, there's tie-dye. Yay!
You get an interaction.
There's Dylan.
It's different.
Yay!
You get an interaction.
Undertaker, I realise, is a very extreme case.
Yes,
but
and
his entrance is really cool. And actually,
also,
The Fiend as well. I think The Fiend, when I was at SummerSlam last year, I think for this debut match, I think that intro was like 3 minutes as well.
Ultimate
He came
Warrior,
out very
too.
slow. He sprinted to the ring.
Know.
His
That's
was like
great.
quick.
That's great.
Okay, I got it. You like that one then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he just gets straight to. I want to see him do that on
the weirdest one, and I never watched wrestling at this point, but to me it would sound like the weirdest thing now is, of course, they didn't used to have entrance music.
They didn't?
No, they just used to walk out. And often they would walk in.
Ciampa,
They'd kind of walk in together in the ring, and then it'd be like a boxing match. So you'd have them in opposite corners, and you'd have the referee in the middle. So in the red corner is wrestler A, and in the blue corner is. So yeah, it's very different. I kind of remember it a little bit from World with Sport. Actually, I guess I did when I used to watch World of Sport when I was growing up. I guess they didn't have an entrance either. Yeah. But yeah, it does feel kind of weird.
Ciampa, I hated it when he did that, but I kind of liked it because his boos were kind of his music.
Yeah. That first time when we saw him, when we started watching NXT, and we had no idea what was going on at all.
Uh-huh.
And he tried to come into the ring, and as soon as he put his mouth up to the microphone, he was like, boo! And then he would just try again, and then he'd just kind of walk out. I don't think he spoke that first time we saw him.
Yeah,
I think he tried to speak for about 2 minutes, and then he just left. I loved it. I was so intrigued. I was like, what the heck did he do that those fans are booing? Yeah, sometimes less is more with things like that. Yeah. If everybody did it, it wouldn't work.
I got 3 other great interactive ones.
Okay.
Well, the Wyatt family.
Uh-huh.
You get to wave your phone.
That was cool when we got to do that. And I love that music anyway.
R-Truth.
R-Truth, mm-hmm.
And you get to yell, "What's up?" and the Iconics. You get to listen to them like insult the people in the ring.
You won't know this because you don't watch anything and you stopped watching. They don't exist anymore.
They don't?
No,
Why?
I know. Because they broke up.
Oh, they did? Are they fighting each other?
They were for a little bit.
And now what are they doing?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I think not Billy Kay, the other one.
Peyton Royce?
Peyton Royce, I think, is on SmackDown, I think. Oh. But I don't know.
So I know all the wrestlers' names better than you, but you actually watch it weekly?
I was blanking. I couldn't remember. I could see her face, and I just could not remember her name. What was the other one I was going to come up with? There was another one who you can interact with as well. So Daniel Bryan as well.
Oh, yeah. There
was another one I thought of you could interact with as well. Oh, Kurt Angle.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you suck.
John Cena for that same reason.
John Cena as well. So there's a few. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think it's better when there's something that you can do at the same time as they're doing it, but for sure. All right, let's get to the main event then.
Cabana Man Dan here, and if you want to give a good splash of podcast goodness right in your ears, you want to tune in to the MGB Wrestling Podcast. Surf's up, baby.
Cabana Man Dan and Mance Warner. And I actually started with, we obviously talked about both of these people. We've seen Mance Warner a couple of times at AIW, Cabana Man Dan multiple times at different organizations. So I started with Mance, actually. I found an article from Jeremy Lambert on October 12th, and it says AEW could be looking to add another name to its roster. According to Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net, AEW has an interest in signing Mance Warner. Ooh. A source told Haynes AEW 100% has interest. Wow. So apparently he's appeared backstage at a few of those events as well. And he can work indie events because we've seen him at different indie events. We've seen him at AIW. He appeared at Joey Janela's Spring Break as well recently. So he can appear at different events, but it sounds like from the article they don't quite know when his contract runs up. Contracts like that are very, I don't know, sometimes they stay quiet on things like that. Sometimes you hear like this wrestler's got like a month to go. And anyway, it did say that Warner recently filed for trademarks on his in-ring name. So nobody else could suddenly jump in and go, I'm calling myself Mance Warner. Which might not, you're pulling your face now, like
who
that,
would want to do
like
that?
That couldn't happen. If I remember correctly, the Revival basically did that. I think they switched names, and then that was actually the name of a tag team in North Carolina, and then they suddenly couldn't use it anymore.
Oh.
Even though they had like merch and everything. So whether a wrestler would suddenly choose Mance Warner is unlikely, but it possibly could happen. And also, he trademarked Southern Stomper as well.
How do you get something isn't trademarked.
You have to fill in some paperwork, and then it stops people like trying to sell that image or whatever, or using that phrase and trying to make money from it. I also saw he's got a podcast coming out soon, this starting in November as well. Old Mance has got some splaining to do. Mansplaining, which I think is a fantastic title for a podcast. Mansplaining, and then Mance-splaining. I love it. It's coming to adfreeshows.com this November. I think it said it was like $9 a month. I think I'd have to see what other podcasts are on there, but I'm going to guess Mance Warner's got some cool stories to share. That would be my guess for this one. All right, go ahead. Tell us about this match then, Mason.
So the most disappointing intro though. That could be disappointing.
Why?
The Shield. You're like, are they going to come next to us or are they not?
Oh, I see what you mean.
They're all the way across the arena.
I love it when you hear that music hit and then you're looking around to see where they are. I think that was one of the coolest entrances.
That would be great if they walked by you. I think they go on the first level.
I think they do. Yeah, if you're in the upper deck, you won't be able to get down to the ring. That'd be too slow.
You have to jump.
You got to come down, then go through the stairs, and you can't see.
Do
them
a
for
Shawn
a minute.
Michaels.
Oh, jeez.
Do a Shawn Michaels. Get a zip line. Okay, so Dan, he says to Mance, put on your working boots because you're in some deep doo-doo. And it's now a falls count anywhere and no DQ match according to Mance, and they made it official.
That was a few minutes into the match. Yeah. They started wrestling to begin with. Now, I'm going to skip from something because I thought you'd talk about the intro, which is why I didn't talk about it. So you haven't seen Cabana Man Dan in a long time, and I said his image has kind of changed. So, all right, how would you say he's different for people who haven't seen him?
He looks so much stronger, and his hair is grown now, and...
Bigger beard?
Yeah, he has a beard?
Oh my god.
I don't remember that.
He had a huge beard.
I don't remember.
He had a lot of facial hair. Like he was covering all... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember.
I thought you were the one that paid attention to detail.
I do. Okay. I don't know.
Did it remind you of anybody?
I can't remember his name, though.
Roman Reigns.
Well, no.
I thought he kind of looked a little like Roman Reigns. A little bit like the Usos.
It reminds me of him. It didn't remind me of him. I just can't think of it. I'll probably think of it later. I'll probably think of it off air, and then I'll feel so stupid.
All right. So Mance came out. I think Mance came out first, actually.
Yes.
Because they played his music, which we love as well. And then while he was coming out, they also interviewed Cabana Man Dan backstage. Well, he cut a promo backstage as Mance was walking out.
Yes.
Or if it was recorded earlier, they played it over the top so you could hear him. But his stuff on the mic looks really good. We don't get to see that one, obviously, at our local indie shows. But when a show like this... A really strong promo. Go ahead.
So Mance smashes an open water bottle over Dan's head, and it looks really cool, but I bet it doesn't hurt at all.
Doesn't hurt at all. It probably cools you down, get some water on you.
Dan swiped a credit card in between Mance's fingers, and flip-flop chops to the face, then Mance returns them. And Mance apparently attacks the announcer, but they had a bad angle. Mm-hmm. And Dan gets...
You complained at one point, because you're like, I can't see what's happening. And they had to kind of flip camera views at that point. But the flip-flops to the face looks really cool. And I wonder for that one, I don't know how much it hurts, but it looks really cool. The sound effect looks really good.
It doesn't, look good. Like, for the wrestler, it looks cool. Uh-huh. But, it hurts my face.
Oh, you've hit yourself with a flip-flop deliberately to find out?
No. Oh. But I don't know how many times I got hit with flip-flop.
From Jay?
Yeah. I got hit in the back a couple times.
I didn't know he was a big Cabana Man Dan fan.
Well, it's probably because he finds that he puts his all over the place and he finds it near him, so he just has something.
Oh,
I don't know, like on the train table. He puts them on the table.
Yeah, he puts them in random places.
So he grabs it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It doesn't hurt too much to the back, but it sounds really cool. But I bet to the face it hurts.
All right, well, perhaps we'll do an experiment later. We'll let him hit you in the face with a flip-flop, right?
No.
We'll put that on the YouTube channel.
Yes, sure.
We need some exclusive content on there.
Let's do it. And then I get to hit you.
We'll see what your reaction is first.
Yes. Then... Dan got chokeslammed through the door, then hit over the back with half of the door, and there was a drop toe hold into the chair by Mance, and a kick out at one, and then Mance gets thrown through the door off of the top for the win. Well, a new door.
Yeah, a couple of things I thought you were going to touch on. One, that door was thick.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen some that are, so thin, it's like a piece of plywood, and you're like, oh, come on, that's, not even a door. This looked legitimately like a door, and yeah, it looked like it would hurt
It's
to
probably as thick as the one you have at home.
I would say
Yeah.
so. I was seriously impressed. That move that finished it, the commentators even said, this is not going to go well for somebody. And it looked like it was Cabana that was going to get superplexed from the top, and no, it didn't turn out that way at all. He kind of reversed it, and then Mance went through the table. But yeah, great match. I love watching Mance Warner matches. You know they're going to be entertaining. You know they're going to be hard hitting. And but yeah, that was one thing I put just before that one. The face to the chair, that sounded really loud.
Yep.
Like we talked about some things that that looked really. I mean, when he kicked out at one, it was like, oh, that looked really effective. Yeah, I thought this was a great. This lived up to the expectation that I wanted it to. I didn't doubt for 1 second this would be a great main event. If you put those two together, I like both those two. I liked how Dan started off as well. He had that really technical style as well. Like you know that basically Mance is going to be going for the hard hitting style. But yeah, he started off with the technical stuff. There was a lot of roll arounds, like quick counts, attempt for submissions and things like that as well. But yeah, no, I thought that was really cool. And then after that was kind of it. There was like 1 minute left in the show. I don't even think we watched the last minute. It was probably like trailers or something like that.
It wasn't like an outro. It was like music.
Now, I know also you said on a previous one, you said you wanted to talk about the masked wrestler, and I said, well, we can do that if you want to. At this point, we actually got 2 episodes, because this is 2 weeks since we last recorded. We kind of recorded 2 weeks in one, and then we just didn't record anything last weekend. So, do you want to talk about the first episode on Masked Wrestler?
The first episode was Barf versus Genkai.
Uh-huh.
And so I remember it was actually a pretty long match, and I was kind of annoyed because
it was about 20 minutes.
Because I just wanted to see who it was, and the match was kind of like suspenseful. And so
I liked it because I was trying to do like they were, like trying to have I seen that move before?
Yeah.
Or trying to look at the body type,
the grunts and stuff like that.
I like the 2 true and 1 false things to totally throw you off the scent.
So I kind of just want to like ignore all that because well, I'll get into that later. But Chris Statlander thought it was Simon Cowell.
Yeah, that was a random one, which was clearly not true.
I feel like they should.
I think she went for a joke rather than an actual
answer.
Yeah,
I want them to actually not know who the wrestler is instead of getting told what to guess, because it looks kind of obvious. Well,
I don't think they were told to that.
It looks to me that they're getting told what to say.
I don't think. I disagree with that. I don't think they do. I don't. Looking at Billy Dixon's face, I don't think he knows who it is at all.
Oh.
I think they're actually making that. And when they were discussing it, they were like, "Is that this?" Like when they said, "Is it Kurt Angle?" Obviously, they were joking. They knew that wasn't Kurt Angle. No, I don't think they know at all.
I guess.
So I was okay with that. Well, that was the other thing. I didn't know Billy Dixon was one of the when I saw him was one of the. I was like, "Whoa, Billy's on the panel!" I was like, "That's really cool."
Yeah.
Like I knew Chris Statlander was. I can't remember who the third person on the panel is, and it's not somebody I'd seen before either, so I don't remember who that was.
And the first person was Logan.
It was. I watched it by myself to begin with, because I wasn't sure if it was PG, and I know Jay wants to watch the first one with us as well. So I watched it, and then I actually thought it was Apricots with Pears and...
I thought it was...
Real Life Without... That was one of my guesses, so it wasn't that, but I'm like, that's kind of simple.
And then Jonathan Gresham was my late pick.
John Kerman, I heard, was one of the picks as well.
That was for the other guy. Because he was he had a martial arts background.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so sometimes I'm going to probably forget who I thought... In 4 weeks' time, I'm probably going to forget who the winner was and who I thought it might have been. But anyway, not to worry about
it doesn't matter because Logan already has a title shot.
He's supposed to, yeah. He hasn't... We've been talking about that for a while now. That's been like 18 months, I think, in the works. But of course, he's used to fighting that style because of Blank.
Yeah.
Well, assuming that Blank is Logan, of course. Logan denies that it's him, but he's used to wrestling that style. But no, I love the show. I thought it was really cool. Somebody asked me, did it spoil it for you with not knowing who? And I was like, no. I watched it in a very different way though, trying to fake. They were doing deliberately fake moves though that they don't normally do to try and stop the other people from guessing. Which I would have liked to have seen. If they don't guess who it is, then the wrestler who loses wins some sort of prize. I would have liked to have seen that, because if they don't get it, then you disguised it for what reason? You might as well just try and win the match.
Yeah.
Who cares if they figure out it's you, if you end up winning? Like, if you talk about Mance one said, hi, my name is Logan Easton LaRoe, but then you won every single match, you wouldn't care because you still get a shot at an IWTV
Yeah, I guess so.
So I would have liked that. I did like the point about you can't argue with the ref though, because if they hear your voice, then they're going to know who it is.
Yeah,
I
but
liked
you can
that
grunt.
side. That you have to focus just on the wrestling. At the intros, they obviously put some effects on the voice, so you can't tell who it is when they talk. So that was okay. But yeah, no, I thought it was interesting. Do you want to talk about the second show then? Because we watched that one last night as well.
Me too. It was looking very obvious who it was. So it was
because they mentioned MDK at the start.
He represents MDK, which is Nick Gage's faction, and he also represents the Cell Block.
And he was throwing up gang signs and stuff. Well, that was all in the one fact, so that could have been the false fact, of course.
Yeah, and then I don't remember
and then threw up gang signs.
Yes, and so he threw up gang signs all over the place, and it ended up being KTB.
Which is really cool, because we've been watching Synergy Pro Wrestling
usually
for the last
I think
few
of
months.
KTB as the taller guy, but he actually wasn't, so... That's confusing. And
well, the other guy was really tall.
He was really tall, and his two truths and one lie were horrible.
Like they don't announce obviously the height and the weight, because if they gave you certain ones, you might go, oh, I know those figures. Like if it was 6'6" and 376 pounds, and I'm like, oh, that's Stephen Michaels. I recognize those numbers.
Yeah.
So they can't do that. I still think, and I don't know from when it's recorded, and we don't know because this person won. I thought the other wrestler might have been Josh Briggs.
Maybe.
But we know he's now on NXT. But I'm trying to think of somebody who's that tall and kind of... But the kick he did as well. But anyway, we'll see
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I have something from the first week. So, Logan Easton LaRoe says, I think I know who I faced.
Yeah.
And it is. And then they just
they cut. And then he never mentioned it at the start of the second show.
Yeah.
So, unless they play it when he finally gets his mask revealed.
Yeah, I
sorry.
guess.
I don't know.
And then the second guy, his two truths and one lie were this morning. I deadlifted, squatted, and I forgot what the other one was, 300 pounds.
So showing he's strong.
Yeah. He deadlifted 300 pounds. He can squat 300 pounds. And the other one was 300 pounds.
But you weren't impressed with that?
Well, I was impressed. It was just annoying.
Well, why was it annoying?
Because I want to have a clue.
He is. He just showed you what he can do.
Isn't it obvious he's strong?
My initials are...
No.
My initials are NG.
No.
Oh, sorry, that was the other
the
wrestler
other
anyway.
Guy. We don't know who
My
it is.
initials are J for Josh.
I don't want that. I want.
All right, what was his other facts then? Because you said all of them annoyed you.
Okay. It was. I think
one
the
week.
other guy.
While you're thinking, one of them the other week was this person only has like one sibling. I was like, how's that? That doesn't narrow it down much at all. Like they have one brother or one sister. Like I guess if you know the wrestlers, that could narrow it down a bit. But I was like, that's a very vague one. That doesn't really help much.
Wait, what if the MDK was the lie? Well, obviously it wasn't because he said he represented MDK after. So the other one for KTB was his Little League nickname was the Night Train, and he something. Oh, he was the first ever champion for a really, really big organization.
That was very vague as well. Yeah, because we were thinking GCW with the
Genkai's Genkai for the first week Logan faced. He had a martial arts background, and that's the only one I remember.
And you already mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Anything
I don't
else?
remember Logan's clues. No.
All right, are we done? So, do you want to keep doing this going forward then? Each week we do our recording?
Yeah.
Well, and if we record 2 in 1 week, which is possible, or if we're recording like on a Tuesday...
If we have a lot for 1 week,
we can always do 2 at once. Yeah, I guess if we have a lot, we could always put some on that YouTube page, because we tend not to remember to do that.
Make sure you check out our YouTube page so you can see me get hit in the face with a flip-flop.
We'll see how that works out. All right, I think we're done. Boom.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye!
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0